Welcome to The Entrepreneur, a program where we recognize outstanding local entrepreneurs for their achievements in business through Singapore's most prestigious and longest-running Entrepreneur of the Year Award, or EYA. Tonight, we celebrate men and women who have implemented their ideas and made them very successful. In its 29th year, the award has also become one that is respected by entrepreneurs for its rigorous and well-established process. The EYA was initiated by the Rotary Club of Singapore, a fellowship of dedicated professionals who share a passion for community service and friendship. In 1992, the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, or ASME, was invited to co-organize the EYA. ASME is one of Singapore's foremost champions of pro-enterprise movement. Assessed by a panel of established businessmen, academics, senior civil servants, and other individuals of high repute, the stringent rounds of interviews, appraisals, and site visits make the award credible and highly sought after amongst local entrepreneurs.
The current judges has a wealth of knowledge under their belt. They share their viewpoints and different or multiple perspectives, so that it keeps the candidate thinking, how can they use this to their advantage and inspire them to say that this is what it takes to grow the company.
This year, in line with enterprises in Singapore going digital, the EYA has enhanced the innovation and technology component under its judging criteria for both the established entrepreneur and new entrepreneur categories.
Entrepreneurs will be additionally evaluated on how they use technology to enhance their products or services, to charter new markets, disrupt existing players, and differentiate itself from other competitors.
Tonight, we meet 6 entrepreneurs from the award's new entrepreneur category and hear about the struggles and strategies that made their businesses successful. He was only 5 when he made his first $1.
When I'm young, I'm very poor, but I like to eat. So I go and raise guppy fish, and I sell the fish to buy the food that I love to eat.
As they say, the rest is history. Jason Lim Chai Ting eventually combined his love for food and business acumen and started his food business in cafes and food courts some 30 years ago. However, starting a chain, Old Street Bak Kut Teh, is where Jason has made his mark. But the concept of selling traditional herbal pork rib soup with a East meets West approach did not seem like a strong business idea at first glance.
I didn't do it for money. I want to create value for this industry. I believe that Singapore, besides chicken rice and chili crab, Bak Kut Teh can speak a louder voice. It should be modernized for young people to enjoy as well.
With that vision in mind, Jason set out to redesign the entire consumer experience of savouring the traditional herbal soup. He was the first to bring Bak Kut Teh into the shopping malls of Singapore. But his bold move was not without its naysayers.
In 2013, when I brought Bak Kut Teh to shopping mall, people laughed at me. They said that Bak Kut Teh is not suitable to operate in shopping mall. It should be in shophouse. But these negative comments does not affect me. I turn it into a positive energy and I do better.
To appeal to younger customers, Jason created new variations, like the signature dry Bak Kut Teh, and paired it with soy milk instead of hot Chinese tea. Outlets also made the traditional youtiao fresh on the spot, a differentiator which has proven very popular. Besides food, the dining experience also saw a revamp. Modular extendable tables with utensils drawers made turnarounds for different group sizes faster. A self-service sauce counter proved popular with the younger crowd as well. Jason also installed an e-ordering system. The e-menu can be updated easily when there are new promotions as well as capture customer order trends.
The main challenge was when we want to launch this e-menu system, our middle-aged workers were very worried. We had to convince them that this system is to help them improve their efficiency, and also we make it very simple so that they can operate very well.
The latest mobile app enables customers to queue and order before reaching the restaurant and pay at the table, cutting down waiting time at the cashier. Today, Old Street Bak Kut Teh has 16 outlets in Singapore, 5 in Indonesia and 3 in China. Jason is looking into bringing the Singapore delicacy to Europe and the US in 2018. When his family's bauxite mining business in Indonesia was badly hit by an export ban on raw materials in 2014, Victor Tan Jen Chen decided to trade his procurement engineer's hat for a chance to be his own boss. He started Top International, a bauxite trading business, and has never looked back since.
The demand for bauxite was very high, and I saw the opportunity there to fill the demand, so I started to look for alternatives.
He looked to Kuantan, Malaysia, where bauxite is largely mined. Bauxite is used for aluminium production. Although Victor had some basic knowledge of bauxite mining and trading, convincing the Kuantan miners to sell bauxite to him still proved to be an onerous task.
We were the new kids on the block, so building up the relationship with suppliers and smelters was very challenging. Previously, they were doing iron ore mining, but due to the downturn, they need to find other raw materials to replace iron ore. So we offered our expertise to develop their bauxite mining operations.
His strategy and determination paid off. Within 2 years, Top International was exporting 20 million metric tons of bauxite a year, becoming the top bauxite exporter in Malaysia. The country became China's largest bauxite supplier, with shipments peaking at nearly 3.5 million tons a month. However, in January 2016, Malaysia too halted bauxite mining and restricted its export capacity. This caused Top International's export capacity to drop drastically, from 20 million to just 3 million metric tons by the end of 2017. But with China importing 60 to 70 million tons of bauxite a year, demand remains very high. Once again, Victor had to look elsewhere for new sources of bauxite, and he found it, this time in Guinea in West Africa. Within 6 months, Top International managed to mine some 2.5 million metric tons of bauxite from its Guinea plant.
We are targeting to produce 6 million metric tons annually by the end of 2017 and 8 million metric tons by the end of 2018.
Still, competition remains stiff there. So, this time, Top International is looking into diversifying its business into something unrelated: agriculture.
Indonesia has lots of fertile land, and there's no one doing this on a big scale. We see a huge potential in big-scale automated smart farming rice plantation.
From mining to agriculture, it looks like Victor is one entrepreneur who is always setting his sights on something big. Still to come, speed dating at a business conference, and find out why collecting toys is no child's play. Stay with us. Welcome back. Sound financial advice is vital in any business venture, and that is why having OCBC as a sponsor and strong supporter for the past 16 years has been an integral part of the award. With over 600 branches and representative offices in 18 countries and regions, OCBC's extensive network places it as one of the world's most highly rated banks. It has also consistently been voted the world's top 50 safest banks by Global Finance. The bank has established successful partnerships with SMEs in the key markets of Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Greater China, and Myanmar.
Just like EYA, OCBC has been a long-term supporter of SMEs, more than 80 years. This award is unique. We see value in this award because it brings recognition and validation to the business owners.
The bank's strong support of SMEs has earned it industry recognition over the years. It was December 2014 when Mohit Saga woke up to news on social media that he had been unceremoniously sacked.
In 2014, I found out through social media, believe it or not. My friends, my family, even my were colleagues. And that left us in a very awkward position. Very, very embarrassing, very upsetting, because that's not how you do things.
He was then a partner at a digital content and events company that organized and facilitated high-level dialogues for and among governments.
So the best way is not to react. It's to work very hard and outperform the other person. And that's exactly what I did.
Within 48 hours of the news going viral, Mohit decided to strike out on his own. Offering the same event management service to cater only to the public sector, he launched his new venture, CIO Network, 10 days later. He set up OpenGov, a platform enabling collaboration that caters specifically to governments within the Asia-Pacific region, including Australia and New Zealand. OpenGov offers ICT-related content sharing, as well as C-level conferences and leadership forums, with a focus on public sector ICT, healthcare and education.
What OpenGov does, it cuts through the red tape, it brings government together, and that's why OpenGov was set up.
By setting a neutral ground to meet, exchange ideas, views and collaborate, OpenGov has been able to provide true insights from and by the many government leaders from around the world. Within months of his new venture, Mohit and his team won an award for OpenGov's innovative conferences.
When you're pushing information in front of 150 people, it's the most boring thing for the audience. So what I did was create a speed dating concept. 6 to 8 people around the table, a champion speaker where you have the ability of asking questions to your speaker. It's an incredible format.
The innovative way of conferencing was so powerful, it has now become an industry norm. Their clients are also leveraging on their expertise to drive and deliver rich content for them.
OpenGov platform has evolved to the level where government is realizing that we are the content champions. They're using us to run their events, make sure there's no sales pitches in there, the content is rich, and we're flying in other governments so they can share their interaction with the local governments over here.
The future for OpenGov looks healthy, with plans to develop C-level conferences in Japan, as well as launch its advisory services and offer bespoke government training programs in digital leadership at its upcoming OpenGov Academy. When Jackson Aoji Sheng was wondering what to do after exiting his camera business, he did not have to look further than the designer toys he had been collecting since he was a student at Nanyang Polytechnic.
I was always very curious about how things were made, and I've been collecting toys my whole life, so it seems natural to understand their creation.
Armed with no knowledge of toy manufacturing, but with plenty of curiosity and passion, Jackson did what seemed logical.
I just walked into a couple of factories in China and just to understand better the prototyping and the production techniques that they used, and it just opened my eyes to a lot of possibilities.
Borrowing money from a bank, Jackson worked with a friend, Clog2, to create their first toy, Hell Lotus. He debuted the toy at a convention and sold 20 out of the 200 pieces he had produced.
I was very nervous and I don't know what to do with the rest.
Eventually, they managed to sell off the rest through their website, and the money was then channeled to making the next toy.
It was all organic growth from the start. We are a very young company with very few distribution channels and cash flow is always tight. But my team stood by me, regardless whether we can make it to the next month. It's their pure grit that allows us to continue to release product after product.
It was certainly no child's play, but from that one-man, one-figurine operation in 2012, Mighty Jax has since created 300 unique designs, selling to over 50 countries, with 40% of its customers coming from the US. The global collectible toys industry was estimated to be worth about $1.8 billion in 2016. And this small local outfit has cleverly found a way to compete on the international toy stage. Jackson collaborates with globally recognized independent artists to develop original content from big brands like DC Comics, Sesame Street, Nickelodeon, MTV and New Balance into limited edition figurines.
We work with a diverse range of artists with different styles, and that reflects in the collectors that make up our community. There's always something for everyone.
While art is subjective, art has also proven to be something people need even during a downturn, well, at least for Mighty Jax. In fact, it recorded the biggest revenue to date in 2016 and 2017. Still, Jackson is not resting on his laurels.
We started out as a toy company, but at this juncture, we see ourselves as a content company. Our core competency is creating original content with artists and developing products out of it.
Still to come, find out why last year's winner has returned this year to claim another award and how this man has changed the landscape of security training. The new entrepreneur category features entrepreneurs who have been operating their business between 2 and 6 years. They come from varied industries and have demonstrated how well they manage growth and sustainability. They've also shown how they leveraged on innovation and technology to gain market share.
This batch of new entrepreneurs are tech-savvy and outward-looking. They have such creative ways of using technology to come up with new business models, products and services. By doing so, they have the ability to disrupt and rejuvenate their industries.
He spent 8 years protecting the most important man in Singapore.
When you're protecting someone like Lee Kuan Yew, you have to be alert all the time. His standard is very high and exacting.
So, it's no wonder that besides protecting the late Minister Mentor Lee, Simon Ng Chi Chuang has also picked up some insights on what it takes to be successful and applied it to his business.
Lee is very disciplined. Thunder, rain or shine, he swims every day. So his discipline in achieving his goal is something I like to bring it over to my business management. So in my pursuit of my business goal, I hope to be as disciplined as he is.
Going into security training after leaving the force came natural to Simon.
Charlie, you want to control?
Besides, he's always wanted to improve the lives of the 70,000 security personnel in Singapore.
Security industry, security personnel are perceived to be low wage and low skill. This could be one of the reasons why they lack the motivation to progress. So I hope to be the catalyst to change the impression and to unleash their potential.
In 2011, Simon founded LeeCov Singapore, a training organization accredited to teach the full spectrum of relevant security programs. He developed training programs that help security personnel progress in their careers and customized training to meet employers' needs. LeeCov is currently the only approved organization to offer security, customer service and fire safety training programs all under one roof. To date, it has the lowest failure rate amongst the industry players.
We have independent assessors who are retired police officers coming down to assess our students to see if they have internalized their learning.
The company also introduced a blend of virtual reality and augmented reality to enhance classroom teaching, making learning real and applicable.
Using virtual reality, we can bring our students to a venue like a sports hub to allow them to learn and deal with various emergency situations. Students can then put into practice what they have learned in a simulated environment to enhance their learning.
The technology-enhanced training has led LeeCov to secure 4 million Singapore dollars worth of business in 3 months. It has already trained some 35,000 in a security workforce in a myriad of courses. Plans are also in the pipeline to provide e-learning courses to the international market, putting LeeCov in the forefront of security training. Sam Chi Kyong was a winner at the Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2016, but he decided to return this year to participate in the EYA again.
I have gained so much from the journey itself, from the process and the questions the judge asked. This helped me to make my business better.
Sam's entrepreneurship journey began in 2014 when he saw potential in Hock Seng Ho Metal Company, a trading firm that distributed metal material locally and overseas. By then, he had 25 years of experience in the metals, offshore, marine and construction materials sector. He had worked from ground up as a delivery driver at a port terminal to becoming head of sales and marketing in a listed company and then a general manager in another company.
With limited education, I struggle with handling shipping documents. I always have to ask my colleague to help, but I did not give up. I took whatever jobs rejected by my peers.
His perseverance paid off. With all the savings he had and a little help, he bought over Hock Sing Ho Metal in 2014. He was 49 years old then. Sam grew Hock Sing Ho from a small metal trading house into a robust enterprise controlling 1.3% or 56,000 metric tons of the entire ASEAN market for structural steel. He introduced value-added services such as galvanizing, cutting, bending, blasting and painting to his clients locally and overseas. Currently, 26% of the company's revenue comes from these services. Since last year, Sam has taken the company further.
Last year, I bought a warehouse in Batam, and this year, I bought another 50,000 square feet warehouse in Singapore.
Embarking heavily on technology, the company has developed its own ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning software, and a mobile app to streamline the processes in the warehouses.
In my smart warehouse, my system will detect the vehicle I use. It will tally with their company, orders, and guide the driver to the designated bay to collect their goods. Previously, my storekeeper have to attend each truck one by one. Sometimes the truck driver have to queue more than an hour. With this entire process being cut down to 15 minutes.
Plans are also in the pipeline to offer his value-added services in-house, moving the business towards a one-stop turnkey solutions provider. Sam is already looking to expand his business to India and Papua New Guinea and to produce cheaper steel alternatives in New Zealand. Entrepreneurial spirit at its best indeed. Well, next week we meet more enterprising men and women in the established entrepreneur category. Till then, be innovative and have a great business week ahead. Good night.